Welcome everybody to Split Screeners Podcast. We are reviewing Barbie today. It came out the same week as Oppenheimer. Look for that review on our channel. Before we get too far into this, we'll be talking about our opinions, our thoughts on the movie, whether we liked it. We'll give a rating at the end. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button to stay on top of all our drops. Let's play that beautiful.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, I'm Alan.
Alan was sick.
Alright guys, so Barbie came out.
Kicks ass.
Barbie came out, we
Best
all
role
saw
he's
it. Starting with Nick because I like the side of the table with some today.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, opinions, emotions on this film?
So I don't think the four of us were the target audience for this film.
No,
There
whatsoever.
were a lot of things in this movie that I think were a direct callback to people who played with Barbies and had Barbies that I just didn't get.
Okay, continue.
That being
Continue.
that being said, I found this film weirdly heartfelt, especially towards the end, which I did not expect.
Yeah.
There was a lot of funny moments in this movie that had me cracking up. The actors, again, we talked about this in Oppenheimer. If you didn't watch that video, go back and watch that review of that one. There were a lot of great actors, I thought, in this movie.
Like John Cena.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. Where was he?
I know he's somewhere in there, but
Even
Ken.
even actors that I don't normally like in many roles, like Ryan Gosling, I'm not the biggest fan of. I thought him as Ken was perfect. I thought he played that role really well. I found this movie completely enjoyable and totally something I will rewatch.
totally something I will own.
I went into this hoping it would be funny, silly, a lot more felt art than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
With some of the
Much
themes
felt
and
art.
what they did. Very felt art. Ryan Gosling was great as Ken, and I usually hate Ryan Gosling, so this is probably my favorite role.
I wouldn't say I
film.
hate him, but
I don't hate him, but I don't like him, so hate.
hey,
Yeah, Drive sucked.
you just didn't get it.
You just aren't smart enough.
Yeah, I think I'm realizing that tonight.
Actually, I'm not a big fan of that movie.
Oh, goodness. A lot of pink in this movie.
A lot of
Fucking
They did really good with, again, we're not the target audience, but obviously a lot of love and nostalgia was poured into all of these scenes. So I imagine for people that grew up with Barbie, this would have just been a nostalgia fest, start to
100%.
finish. Zach,
I had female
tell us
friends
about
as a child.
Malibu Ken.
If I replace all the Barbies in this movie with wrestling action figures in my brain,
Nostalgia.
it totally makes more sense.
So instead of Barbies and Kens, it's face and heels.
I was thinking
Divas
and wrestlers.
Yeah.
Divas
Or,
and
And male
wrestlers.
female
Yeah.
wrestlers and male wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
We were on the same page.
Yeah.
I grew up in a house with 3 sisters
Ah.
who all loved Barbie, so I would be lying if I said that I didn't play with Barbies at least a little bit. If it wasn't tearing their heads off, I was actually being nice with my sisters and playing with her.
You're making
Storylines and
weird
stuff.
Barbies.
Yeah, I was making a lot of weird Barbies.
Weird Barbies.
A lot of weird Barbies. There's a little nostalgia in this movie for me. Just watching my sisters grow up with these things and playing with them as well. I thought there was a lot of detail into like the different sets. There was points, especially with Weird Barbie, where like you would hear the plastic squeaking from her walking. I thought that was fucking. That was a cool detail.
That was cool.
Obviously, we're not the target audience, but like there is a lot of feminist notes in this movie. It's not a terrible thing. I'm not going against that. But I
Really?
thought
'Cause it kind of sounds
Kinda
like it.
sounds
no, it doesn't sound like it at
Cancel
all.
Zach. Hashtag cancel Zach in the comments.
I love that it's
Hashtag
a part of this
cancel
movie.
him.
I love that it's not super in your face, like it's not the pink in your face. But on the wider scope of this film, it's more about loving who you are as yourself, not what society wants you to be.
Mhm.
And I think that encompasses
All
all
of us.
genders,
Yeah.
all of us. there was a line in this movie that like really hit me and Steph where mothers stand still so that their daughters can look back and see how far they've come. I don't think that's just everyone. I think that's parents in general.
Yeah.
And we'll all hit that point where we can show our children where they started and where they are now, and be proud of them for that. This movie hit a lot harder than I thought it was going to.
100%.
I didn't expect it to hit at all.
I was thinking this was just gonna be a straight up comedy with Will Ferrell, Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie,
John
Cena. List of excellent actors and actresses.
Michael Sarah.
Holy shit!
That's Alan.
I was leaving this movie, not to mention my wife, thinking like I wasn't expecting it to slap so hard. Not as just as a good movie itself, but like with its themes and its messages and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't expect the Felthart part.
Yeah, the
I was
Felthart.
just thinking it was going to be all comedy.
Simu Liu.
Simu Liu
was great.
I love the beach off.
Yeah.
My
I'm
favorite.
gonna beat you off.
No, I'm going to beat you up.
I'll beat you off with both hands.
Oh, there will be no beaching off
If you're going
today.
to beat him off, you got to beach me off first.
Yeah, that was a great way to start the movie.
My favorite scene in this movie was Ken's song.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That bopped so hard.
It did. I love that scene.
Okay. I kept thinking of one particular song for that also playing.
If you go, oh yeah, I don't think you did see The Little Mermaid, didn't you?
I think it's really long. But I was gonna say, Blonde Boys doing what Blonde Boys do.
No,
What just blonde boys do what blonde boys do?
Yeah.
Play that song, please.
Check out blonde boys on
Not.
YouTube.
Yeah, go hit it. I need some more views.
It's not on there.
It is.
I guess that's my turn. I also really enjoyed it. I also played with Barbies, not because they were my Barbies. I had
He stole a lot of Barbies.
You know, there was this one cheerleading Barbie that I really liked because it had like the hinged legs instead of the rubber like clunky legs.
Yeah.
Not for that reason, you sick fuck.
All right. Everything.
I thought it was kind of cool that they changed up.
Hashtag cancel Film Beast.
Wow.
It'll be down on the bottom.
Take it down.
Good thing I'm editing.
But I had a couple of my childhood friends were girls, and I played with Barbies with them
Oh,
sometimes.
you played with Barbies?
Nerd.
Nerd.
That's for girls.
One of my friends that I played with Barbies the most often with, she mostly just had weird Barbies.
Yeah, weird Barbie.
She was rough on her Barbies. Like all of them. So we'd play, but we'd have like Ken with like Barbie's body. So I had a weird childhood with these kids.
You were playing more advanced games for that decade.
Exactly. But I thought this movie was super felt heart, as Aaron likes to say.
Mm-hmm. That's the correct term.
It was funny. I went into it what I expected, and the first 5 minutes was making me believe I was completely right into this suspect that I was going to watch a 2-hour-long ad. And they did do that, but in a
This wasn't Space
funny,
Jam 2.
in a funny way. Like it was all relevant at least.
Yeah.
But I was expecting like from the first day with how that went. I'm like, all right, so far this is exactly what I expected. A little bit funnier and a little raunchier than I was expecting, but more or less what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Once it started actually the story actually started going, it was surprisingly
I
good.
don't remember any raunchy parts though.
I mean, there was that time where Ken wanted to stay over, but they couldn't figure out why they wanted to stay over.
Yeah.
And then there was
We don't have
genitals
jaw.
a couple times.
Yeah.
We don't have genitals.
We don't have genitals.
I have
a
genitals.
genitals.
I have all the genitals.
I have all the genitals.
This is the proper way to use product placement to tell a story with meaning.
The story was surprisingly good, and it was very deep.
Every time you guys hate on Space Jam 2, it just makes me knock down the score of this movie a little bit. How dare you guys?
I was actually okay.
So it's the perfect 10.
Wow, we should do a review of Space Jam 2 while talking shit
that's
about
a good
it.
idea.
So you can just knock the
Knocks
score
the score
down.
down.
It'll
To
score
a proper
To a
one.
proper 0.
I was really bummed out that you didn't watch it with us, Zach.
See, our plans
especially-
just got like mixed up.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, I think Ryan Gosling's Ken was probably my favorite character in this movie. He had me cracking up quite a bit. And Will Ferrell didn't do a whole lot. He was there. But
Will
I was
Ferrell
expecting
was
him to
just
have a
there.
funnier role.
The Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Mojo Dojo
Call him
Casa
Mojo
House.
Jojo Quadro Casa House.
I like how wild they went with it. I also really liked Mattel's branding. I just really like how they just made the branding seem like Keebler elves
Yeah.
for the Mattel brand. And it's... Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
So I liked Kate McKinnon as Barbie, the weird,
Weird
Barbie.
Barbie, yeah.
I think she was my favorite character in this one. One thing I did not enjoy as much as the rest of the film was how like you go to the real world and like at first like it's super realistic, people are rude and everything, but like Mattel for some reason is all really cartoony and like more like
Yeah.
the Barbie world, and it just kind of felt out of place a little bit. So that would knock down my score that we'll later give. It just fell out of place.
I wish we figured... I wish I knew what the hell the boxing like truly did.
Erasing their mind, like resetting them.
Yeah.
I also expected Will Ferrell to play a villain in this. I was surprised that they didn't make that a Mattel
Yeah, he was
villain.
only a pseudo villain.
Pseudo villain. But in the end...
In the end, yeah, he was.
Also, we watched 3 movies over the course of the last few days, and all 3 of them kind of had ties in to like the mental aspect of things and like how real everything the mom was going through throughout this movie, and you find out that she's the one playing with the Barbie and stuff. It like
I figured that one out pretty quick.
well, I figured it out pretty quick. I just thought it was really cool.
It was a neat...
That's the whole reason Barbie's kind of malfunctioning is because she's being played with by somebody that is going through stuff in her own life and her own brain.
All of them
And
had
it's
some good
alright.
themes.
Yeah,
And it's alright.
and it's okay. It's okay to not be okay.
God, I love the themes of like all the movies we were watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Oppenheimer had a few good ones.
Oppenheimer.
Op and open.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, they didn't touch on feminism, gender equality as much as I thought they were when they first went into the real world.
Yeah.
But I think that they touched on it in kind of a really real way because, I mean, Barbie was designed to empower women. That's the whole reason why they have all of the different
It was
careers and stuff. And
This
then
Barb Handler, the creator, just because before Barbie there was just baby dolls.
Yeah.
Ruth, sorry, there was just baby
which
dolls.
was hilarious. The beginning of the movie was.
I did love the tribute to A Space Odyssey 2000.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
with a giant Barbie. Yeah, that was perfect.
But I think that it did touch on some really big issues there. And,
Oh, absolutely.
I can't speak for Zach, but I think the other 3 of us are fully behind feminism and gender
100%.
Oh my
equality.
God. I am fully behind.
Though the ending,
He is. I'm just kidding.
I would have preferred the ending to
Hashtag-
have more gender equality rather than just continue with the reversal.
Hashtag
Because they went, yeah,
cancel
man, you
boobity
stay down
games.
there, you can't be a supreme
cancel
justice.
me.
It would have been cool to
At least
show them
somebody
more
had you watching
utopia
it first.
versus just the reversal. It's dead.
It's alright. It's alright to be dead.
Who else has stuff? Favorite scenes, favorite moments.
Okay, I really
Things
liked.
that we haven't touched
I
on
really
yet.
liked Michael Cera.
Yeah,
Alan was
Alan.
great. Alan was great.
Alan!
I just like.
Alan!
One of my favorite scenes, if I had to pick any scene, it would be Alan just beating the hell out of all the Kens.
Yeah.
And how it's not even like the focus of the scene, it's just always in the background.
background.
You just see the Kens getting the shit.
It's because Michael Cera kicks ass.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Figuratively and literally.
No comment.
But that was probably my favorite scene, just the unexplained. Well, I mean, obviously, it's because Michael Cera kicks ass, but
Yeah, I'm with Zach. I think Weird Barbie's probably my favorite. I don't think I had like a least favorite character. I do agree a little bit with the executives of Mattel, and I don't know what really maybe was the intention there. If that's the way that they wanted them to be,
Yeah.
I do think it would have made more sense to probably make them a little bit more human-like and not But
Okay.
I don't know if it lowers the score for me.
So this is something you have to also put into frame with this. Is that Mattel, this is the first of Mattel's planned universe.
The
Shared.
Mattelverse.
The
Shared
Mattelverse.
universe.
There's a shared universe. I think they're possibly trying to like frame Mattel as kind of cartoonish so that after
All their
there's
properties
enough
are
properties out, they can get overthrown for the new, more human one, like as a big meetup for all of
Go
them.
to G.I. Joe world.
Because it's gonna be, because that is a real plan. And this is their first foray into it. And if they keep directors that want to do weirder, more unique ways to tell stories, because that's what Greta does.
Oh my god.
45 movies in development.
Barbie is just the
Before
beginning.
we get
Mattel
into
has
this.
45
Whoa!
You didn't know this?
Not that many. I knew
Because they
that
haven't been like pushing this out.
I know, it's
Like,
crazy.
They haven't done the Dark Universe thing where like they haven't released a movie yet, but show the cast for 6 movies.
Exactly.
And then
Because that's a
fail the
big part.
universe.
Because that's what we have to kind of realize for. Part of it is that they have a big
All right,
plan
before
for
we get
this.
too deep into this, because I can see this being a huge thing. Do you guys want a sequel to the Barbie? Would it make sense to just keep it a singular movie by itself, or do you highly
Okay.
anticipate wanting more
Okay.
movies in this universe?
I can
or
tell you there will be more.
There will be more. Do you want
Depending
more?
on the box office, if it's good, there's
It's
definitely
gonna
going to
be
be a
good.
sequel.
I would 100% be okay if this was a standalone movie. I
Okay.
think like the way they wrapped it up was perfect. I don't really know where you go from here.
So what I was thinking for this is if they make another Barbie movie, I don't think it should be a sequel in the traditional sense. I think they should just call it Barbie and then just have a completely different Barbie, no explanation, being the main character of it. And like that's just it if they make more Barbie movies. Unfortunately, that's unfortunate for Margot Robbie, of course. But I think that'd be a nice, unique way to.
If you can't get star power equal to Margot Robbie for a sequel to this particular film, I see them doing a fish out of the water
direct to
type
DVD.
movie where like Margot Robbie's Barbie is trying to get used to the real world because now she's human.
I suppose there's
Oh,
a story
my
that
God.
could be told there.
She'll be in the Barney movie because Barbie becomes Barney.
No.
Do not
Margot Robbie
slowly
as
transform
Barney.
Margot Robbie into Barney. That is the stuff. They already have an actor for Barney. Do not give me that nightmare. You motherfucker.
You want to get turned on by Barney's ass?
I'm gonna tell you.
No!
Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna tell you guys right
Skeletor.
now.
Skeletor replaces Mattel's CEO.
Oh, Polly Pocket. Oh, God. This is just going to be a bunch of movies
Look,
about my sister.
Like, I looked this up. That's why I knew about this. I knew you guys would enjoy the little bit of deep dive on this. This is a huge
Uno, the
thing.
movie. How do you do that?
It's been scrapped, so.
Okay.
Look, let's be honest. How would they do a Barbie movie? Like on paper.
Well, Barney, they have an actor apparently for this one they're looking at. Another one that we already know quite a bit about. This is from Screen Rant, right?
Inside
Inside
the
the
Magic.
Magic.
InsideTheMagic.com.
Net.
.net. Daniel Kaluuya,
Wow. It's Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya is apparently playing Barney.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Look, as a child, I was a
Film
massive
is
Barney fan.
much darker
Yeah.
tone than the high.
Are you excited?
I love you. You love me.
Barney was sick.
I can't finish
Or
singing
how-
that because Mattel
Is he an
will sue
anthropomorphic
me.
dinosaur, or
Maybe.
just a guy that thinks he's a dinosaur?
Maybe it's the guy below.
Maybe this is like a
mask.
maybe this is a velocipaster.
Ooh.
Oh.
So like he like turns into Barney,
All right.
like Shazam. He's
Let's,
just Barney.
let's go into the ratings. Gavin, out of 10, what do you rate Barbie?
Zach's like, man, these last 2 episodes went so well. What the fuck happened?
I'm so surprised this movie came out. It's been through 3 studios over the years. It was a Universal film. Then Sony bought the rights. They started a script and casting, and then scrapped it for whatever reason.
They had. Oh, what was her name?
So part of this is actually.
And then WB picked it up.
So this is really before. So the two previous before where it's at now is before the current CEO of Mattel actually went into it. He showed up after Sony got it, and then he was trying to get their shit back for this Mattel Cinematic Universe. So that's why it was changing so often as well, was because he got in there and he's like, all right, let's get it all back in house. All back in house, we'll make our own movies. All back in house. And that's what they did.
Wasn't Amy Schumer first attached to play Barbie? I feel like
yeah,
I
there was a
remember
couple, and yeah, I think that was. Let me
I wouldn't have
see.
seen it. If Amy Schumer was Barbie, this would be
There's
a
a
solid
couple
2. But since it's not, it's a solid 7.5. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Schumer.
Gross.
What did you rate it, Gavin?
7.5.
Zach?
I'm gonna go with an 8 out of 10.
I will give it a 7.
This was my least favorite of the 3 movies I watched over the weekend. I will also give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Pretty close
definitely
to
not better
yeah.
than The Whale.
Yeah, it's not better than The
No.
Whale. It's not better than Oppenheimer.
No.
But
I did thoroughly.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will rewatch it, and I would recommend it
Yeah,
to
it's
anybody.
fun.
That was fun.
It's a
Again,
fun
for the
movie.
plugs, catch our whale video. That's movie bookie, and we did a review on Oppenheimer. That's up as well.
Hell yeah, watch those.
Watch
them,
those.
like them, subscribe.
They're everywhere, maybe.
No.
Just use the smear tool.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Just
just gonna
smear
use the
McCar-
tag tool where you can insert links to your videos in a video. So
Well, yeah.
Make them hard to click.
I don't do that. Anyway.
No. What I'm saying, after that, you just smear those. So it covers them.
All right.
So mostly a 7.5 or 8
7
out
to
of
8.
10.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a
Solid.
good show.
It's a lot of fun. I recommend
Good
it.
feels.
Mm-hmm.
For a movie about
Parts.
a toy. It's pretty good.
So like I said at the bottom of the episode, because we built this shit up.
Hell yeah.
Start from
Like,
the top.
comment, subscribe. Let us know what your thoughts are on this movie, on a wider Mattel universe. Do you want sequels?
Are you pumped for the Hot Wheels movie?
Oh, jeez.
Are you
pumped
pumped
for Barney?
Are you,
Hot Wheels?
are you pumped for Margot Robbie dressing up as Barney in a future movie?
Maybe just dress it up. As long as it's not
maybe
a
they-
realistic transformation into a monster.
No, I have a better. No.
Hell
So
yeah.
maybe
Now I
the
kind of want it.
maybe the Barney suits are like Iron Man suits.
Alright, Zach, get us out of here. Jesus
It's time
Christ.
to
Split.
Now it's time to break it.